Mr. Gruen, I find your testimony and experience very interesting and important to this panel today. You're a former Navy SEAL, is that correct?
Yes, Congressman.
So you have a lot of background in unconventional warfare?
I do.
And now you're currently working in the counter-drone space?
Correct.
Have you spent any time overseas in Ukraine?
Yes.
Yep. Do you feel that Americans and our agencies understand the gravity of what's happening overseas and how it's transforming modern warfare?
Not at a scale that's necessary. There certainly are pockets of individuals who are aware of the threat and are working diligently to address it, but as a whole of nation, absolutely not.
Do you believe that the U.S. is prepared to protect its citizens and infrastructure from drone attacks in some of these major events that we're talking about coming up in the U.S.?
Not currently.
Give us an idea of what that could look like, sir.
The drone threat is so wide-ranging that it is hard to sometimes grasp, because you have the obvious situation of a stadium where you may have DJI-type drones come into the stadium, either drop powders or be explosive in themselves and do actual physical damage to the attendees. You also have a lot of other types of operational scenarios, like airports. With all these folks that are trying to arrive, if you have a drone that goes and parks itself on a runway, the entire operation is going to shut down. And it doesn't even have to explode. It can just sit there. And you have already disrupted air travel to a level that we have not seen, globally not prepared for.
Right. It's a lot easier to get some type of explosive into a stadium when a drone doesn't have to go through some magnetometer. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
It's really not that expensive either for our enemies to use drone warfare to attack us, is it?
Absolutely not.
Sir, you said, I believe in your testimony, that your company has been tasked to do counter-drone operations around key U.S. sites. Can you expound on that a little bit?
Yes. We are working with the Department of Defense to do some initial base deployments. So both OCONUS and CONUS, in particular in response to the New York, New Jersey drone threats at the end of last year. We're at Picatinny Arsenal now with an Army program of record, but we've also deployed to Stewart Air National Guard Base with a coalition of industry partners under NORTHCOM, and all to field the latest capabilities to really get both at the detection, identification aspect, and then have on-hand mitigation capability when authorized.
When you guys are doing these operations, are we talking about lone wolf bad actors? Are we talking about nation states that you guys are trying to prevent from flying over these sites?
The scary part about this, Congressman, is we don't have good fidelity on that information. We know that there are drones of various sizes, so ones that cannot be easily procured off of an Amazon or an Alibaba. You have larger drones, and you have drones, multiple drones at a time. So the fact that we don't know who's operating these drones is the real problem.
Are drones being used right now within the U.S. to conduct espionage?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Can you expound on that anymore?
There are briefings from the government themselves at different classification levels, but we know that there are other nation states or proxies that are operating near our borders and even particularly in the homeland, different sites.
Most people probably aren't aware that the U.S. Capitol Police are currently using Tariff Regulation Section 16.2.90 model rockets and boats to mitigate drone threats on Capitol grounds. Congress must do its part to properly equip Capitol Police for that reason. On National Police Week, I plan to introduce the U.S. Capitol Police Empowerment Act of 2025 to authorize the U.S. Capitol Police to mitigate drone threats on the Capitol complex. The bill was drafted with input from the House Admin, Judiciary, Transportation and Infrastructure, and Homeland Security committees. I'm hoping that everybody will support this bill as it should be bipartisan. I do have a video that I'd like to play of some of the drone capabilities from your company, Mr. Gruen. Now, Mr. Gruen, are we watching in real time your company's drones being able to shoot out nets and capture enemy drones?
Correct, Congressman.
Why is that so important, sir?
For the, we're called the low collateral effect interceptor inside government agencies, because the way by catching with a net, we either keep it under a tether and drop it somewhere that's been rendered safe, where law enforcement can look at the drone, get forensic, et cetera. So it's the collateral damage aspect. You're also not infringing on any publicly identifiable information. It's not hacking a signal. It's not getting personal information off of anything. So the combination of that, the lack of PII and the low collateral, is what makes it so impactful.
Mr. Chairman, I know my time has expired, but I'd like to enter into the record 5 separate articles.
Without objection, so ordered.
I've got number 1, U.S. Bureau of Transportation Statistics, prohibited items intercepted at airport screening checkpoints. Number 2, Defense Daily, TSA's own covert testing showed failures, DHS IG says. Number 3, ABC News, TSA fails most test in latest undercover operation at U.S. airports. Number 4, no drone zone, United States Capitol Police. And number 5, a copy of my bill, the USCP Empowerment Act of 2025.
So ordered.